You never go anywhere without it. You'll probably get a demonstration of this later. But they say, "You got a pain?" And he started waving them. He was telling me all these stories. Telling me all these stories. So, and I said, "Sure, Mark, if you think it's a good idea, then I will sign up and we'll get a wand and I'll become a distributor." And he said, "Good." So on Friday, I have to on Monday. Well, Monday, Tuesday comes, Wednesday comes, they're called back, they're Thursday comes, Friday, they don't have any, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. This goes on for about 2 weeks, there's always a reason. Now he's got the money for the wand, but there's no wand. And so finally, about 2 weeks later, after I made an endless number of phone calls, Jason calls up and says, "You know, I'm upline from Mark, and I understand you're interested." And Jason and I have been friends forever. I was checked into a hotel in Phoenix many years ago at a convention. And the guy who loaded all my bags at this hotel was Jason. And I said to him, "You know, after he'd taken the bags, he was funny, and he was helpful, and he was courteous, and he was quick and everything else." I said, "You know, you've got star quality. You're going to be a star. You're going to be a big success. You're not going to be parking cars here forever." And the next thing I knew, years had passed, Jason called me up out of the blue and wanted me to speak for his company, 675,000 distributors, and he was the CEO of it. And but he's done it all himself. I just remember that moment. I remember that sort of turning point. Anyway, so Jason, geez, because he's had me speak for his company over the years, and he said, "Can I come down and show this to you?" So, and he lives in Newport, and I live in Solana Beach, not far from here. It's an hour drive. And I said, by this time, bullshit. but Jason's a serious guy, and I said, "Sure, I'm going to give it a try." I haven't seen nothing except Mark waving this wand like a drunken man trying to keep flies away. And so Jason came down with his lovely wife, and he said, "You've got anything with a pain level more than 7?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I've got lots of pains. I've lived a very interesting life, and I had arthritis and some other things." But I said, "Well, my wrist, I've had massages, I've had physiotherapy, I've had x-rays, I've had shots of cortisone, and my wrist is so stiff that it's just really hard for me because I have to tighten and everything else." He said, "Well, let's give it a try." So he pulled out his wand, and he waved it around my wrist for, I don't know, a couple of minutes, just waved it around like that. And he said, "How's that?" And I said, "Well, I was shocked. The pain was gone. This is after several years of increasing pain, increasing discomfort. So much so sometimes I couldn't sleep at night without getting up and taking painkillers because if I laid on my hand or my arm, I got it in the wrong position. And the fingers, my hands were all swollen up from arthritis, and I couldn't, look at this. This took place on April 8th. I still remember it because I couldn't believe it. And he said, I said, "Well, that's remarkable." But he said, "You got any more pains?" I said, "Well, yeah, but you couldn't do anything about this. I've got pains in my left ankle. I used to climb and hike and everything else. But I've been on my feet for about 10,000 hours over 25 years. And when you're on your feet, if you're moving, it's better. But if you're on your feet, eventually what happens is the cartilage wears out for some people. I've been to doctors for about 3 or 4 years. I have cortisone shots every 3 or 4 months, as many as I can get. I take painkillers, non-prescription painkillers. When I speak for a few hours afterwards, I feel like I put my stump of my left leg on a hot plate and it's burned. I mean, I said, "But there's nothing you can do here," because they've told me the only cure for this, with no cartilage, is showing me the X-rays, is you have to have fusion. So what they have to do is go in with arthroscope and clear out the remaining cartilage, and then put 3 spikes in it, and then you walk like this for the rest of your life, and it'll take about a year on a walker with excruciating pain before you'll actually be able to stump around like a person with a peg leg. And that's the only choice. And I've been to the doctor a couple of times. I said, "It's getting worse. I've given up hiking, given up walking, and so on." So Jason said, "Well, let's give it a try." I said, "But this isn't help. I don't care what you got." So he wanted my ankle. I think he gave me the one. He wanted my ankle for about 3 minutes, and the pain disappeared, and it's been gone ever since. And I've been traveling, speaking about 3 miles yesterday with my daughter. I've been traveling, speaking for 3 or 4 days in a row, 8 hours a day, and pain is gone completely. And so you've got my attention. And my wife, she had very, very stiff arthritis. She had very Marcus here, very stiff arthritic thumbs, and with one warning, your thumbs just, after years, the thumbs are just like rubber bands, just like rubber. So that was my experience with it. My daughter, Christine, is 30, got 2 children. She's just been to the doctor. The doctor was recommending she goes to this back problems, pains and everything else. You may have to have discs used, blah, blah, blah. So I said, well, turn around. Let me give you one here. So, and so I just wandered her back. I said, there you go. How's that? She got pain was coming. Anyway, my friend, bullshit. I said, you got to see this. I said, do you have any pains about the 7th? Now, he's been a good friend of mine for years. He's very wealthy, multi-millionaire, got several businesses. He said, I've got back rest. And I've traveled with him, and he's never complained about his back. He said his back is killing him. He said he's got such pain in his back, he can't sleep. He said he's conscious of it all day long, with an abscess too. And I said, well, you've got to check it out. There's somebody in Vancouver who's got one of these wands. So I'll send you his name and address. And you go to a meeting like this. Well, he was holding it in his home. And so he called him out. I called him on Monday. There's a meeting like this on Tuesday. And he went to see this guy, with 4 people in his house, exactly how Sam and Adam started. And Wednesday morning, we're sitting there. Barbara and I are sitting there in the morning at 7:30, and the phone rings. And it's him. And he's got this voice. Brian, he said, my God, he said, it works. It works. You can't believe it. He said, I've got no pain in my back. This is after a decade of absolute misery. So there's now hundreds of these stories, and they sound like bullshit. One of the things that I found is that if you don't have any pain, it's not going to take your pain away. It's important. I should say this to a friend of mine, and I said, do you have any pains? He said, yeah, I've got pains in my shoulder. So I wanted his shoulder. I said, well, what level of pain? He said, about a 2. I said, well, it's not going to do any good because you can't demonstrate it. You're going to have a pain higher than 7. And then I've been Howard and all these other people. But my statement is that this looks like a dam. And I never went anywhere without this. They can use it to avoid pains in teeth, pains for kids. One of our grandchildren hurt himself on Sunday. We wanted him quickly, and the pain has gone away. So it is really quite extraordinary. I'll turn it back over to you, Jason. Thank you.